And I'm trying to find a place to put like my cough drop, because you know I got one of those, and there's all this weird shit going on. Oh, hello there. You know, the first time one of those guys popped up on screen, I got all spooked. No, it startled me. This is my hell. Great, awesome. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Do you wish to continue? Nope. Okay, so here we are. Welcome, my name's Abyssle. This is Cooking Companions. Day is turning into night. Better head home and eat dinner. Okie dokie. The cabin is completely silent. What do you want to check out? Oh boy, so many choices. Look out the window. You're hungry and that's a waste of time. What do you want to check out? The bookshelf? You browse the shelf of books. All of these are too complicated and gross for you. I won't look at it again. You found a small note between two of the books. It's too difficult to open though. The bookshelf. Take another look at the subjects. Carpentry, metalworking, tailoring. Books that are good for crafting in the wilderness. The bookshelf. Take one last look at the subjects. Right, okay. Books that are useful in their own way. Is that it? Alright, cool. Oh dear. Well, we're hungry, right? So I feel like the kitchen is the next step, but let's go to the bedroom first. It's not time for bed yet. You're very hungry right now. What do you want to check out? The bathroom. You're too afraid of the bathroom right now. What do you want to check out? The basement door? The basement door is already unlocked. You open the door ready to traverse the basement. Wait, what? No. I didn't even want to go down here, you fucking mental. Thanks for playing. Shit. God damn it, that's great. What the fuck? Good, I need to tweet that out already. That's fucking great. Right, okay, that was something. I'm gonna choose yes this time. Is it the same thing? Oh, what the hell? Our walk was brutal, but the cabin is amazing. Full kitchen, running water, it really has everything. Finally, a place I can read a good book in peace. Can't wait to you good? Sorry everyone, it must be the dust. I feel that. Get those allergies under control, Maria. I like the art's a lot crisper, it feels. Don't worry guys, I'm sure with a little elbow grease we can make this cabin shine. So you volunteering to clean, Gregor? No. How many supplies here? Guess we'll have to go out and get what we need. There's a fireplace for making stew, so let's gather up some firewood, alright? Leave that to me, little guy. I'll tidy up around the cabin. Need to save Maria from dying due to this dust. True. Hey! Allergies are nothing to joke about, Karen. She's not dead yet, Pipsqueak. Calm down. Thanks, Anatoly. I think I'll go foraging outside. With over 450 mosses, 900 fungi, and 70 slime molds, there's gonna be treasure up here. Roughing it is fun. Anatoly knows so much about edible foods, we're in good hands. Right. I think the slime molds will be the most delicious. Most certainly not. What about the fungi? Do you even know which ones are poisonous? I could figure that out. You can be the canary in the coal mine, Anatoly. I'm not ending up a corpse here. Oh dear. Sorry, my voice came out a bit there. Keep both eyes open, little guy. Plenty of wolves and brown bears around. They won't be a problem. I read up on 10 different techniques to incapacitate them. Dude, can you... Wait. Can't he not read? Number 1 is... Anatoly. Oh yeah, sorry, Maria. Got carried away again. I'll help Anatoly look for food. I'm definitely better at warding off wild animals. If we come up empty-handed, we could always eat some of the food we brought. You mean the emergency rations? Bad idea. Hey, Anatoly and Maria are getting the food. Gregor is gathering the firewood. That makes you our designated chef. Everyone's looking at you expectantly. You nod. They're excited to try your cooking. All right, everyone. Let's go to work while there's still sunlight. Later. Maria, Anatoly, Gregor. The three exit the cabin, leaving you and Karen alone. I think Anatoly put the supplies in the kitchen. Thanks for helping out with the cooking. Tutorial. To save the game, right-click or hit escape. Yeah, I got you. I know how to quick save too, I'm so smart. This menu will also allow you to adjust volume levels or exit the title screen to view unlockables. Please note, going back to the main menu or exiting the game without saving will remove progress you've made. Be sure to save. Yeah, I get you. Do you have any experience making meals? Butter them up? Oh dear. Of course. I'm probably not extremely lazy. Is that so? Looking at you, I think you'd be good at serving up food poisoning. Right? Looks like Karen will remember that. Uh-oh. Anyway, nah. I'm gonna load. I might still go with that one, but I want to check out the other ones. Well, I appreciate your honesty. Let me know if you need help with anything. I'm pretty good with a knife. Karen looks pleased with your answer. Oh. Well, shit, then I might go with that one. I want to look at the other one. Say nothing. If you're a mute, you can tell me now. Are you a mute? No. Just messing with you. Let me know if you need help chopping anything. I'm great with a knife. You think you impressed Karen? Oh. I should have said yes, wait. Don't judge me. Say nothing. If you're mute, you can tell me now. Are you a mute? Yes. You're pretty bad at lying. We were talking earlier, remember? Yikes, looks like lying doesn't work on Karen. It unfortunately looks like Karen will remember that. Oof. That's pretty great. Which one do I want to go for? I'm gonna, like, try and roleplay this, maybe? Nah, that seems dumb. Or does it? Well, I was just going, of course, off of my own thoughts, because I do like cooking, but, this character with the option of probably not, I'm extremely lazy, doesn't lead me to believe great things. I'm gonna be coy. I'm gonna say nothing, and then I'm gonna do the no. Just messing with you. Let me know if you need help chopping anything. I'm great with a knife. You think you impressed Karen? I'm pretty sure she'll remember that. Huh. Dope. Okay, well, is that a good thing? Oh. Your relationship is stronger. Whack. His relationship? Anyways, going to check out the living room. Let's talk later. Yeah, I got you. Karen heads to the living room and starts dusting a little bit. You decide to look around the kitchen to find the ingredients for the meal tonight. Tutorial, you never know what you'll find around the cabin. Clues and secrets may be revealed by searching an area more than once. I got you. Why not give it a try? What area do you want to search first? Wait, is there still that X behind the wood pile? There's nothing but cobwebs back here. Thankfully, no spiders. You look at the wood logs closer. It's just a pile of Norway spruce. Norway spruce won't burn as hot as logs from an oak tree. These would be useless during a snowfall. That's terrible. You reconsider your views on Norway spruce. It's less dense and won't fill the cabin with a heavy smell. The supplies aren't anywhere near here. Damn it. Alright, the drawers? You check the drawers on the left. Just some dirty knives. Check the drawers above the mouse hole. Some kind of mold is growing in this one. Maybe Karen will find it appetizing. Oh dear. Check the drawer above the wood pile. Something is making it difficult to open. You pull it open with all of your might. Oh dear. Sorry about my throat.
Cabbage!
Oh, this is where you're coming in, I think. It's time. Chompets, sound off.
Onion!
Never fear, Onion is here. Like my cousin Cornbread says, I'll rise to the occasion.
Raspberry!
Always merry, Raspberry.
Oh, yeah.
Potato? Cabbage stuffed me into this drawer. I'm pretty sure this counts as kidnapping. We're the Chompets. Oh boy. Why talk with those boring humans? All they have to give you is drama. Come chat with us instead. We'll share valuable recipes you can cook. We'll share with you our secret Chompet recipes. Collect them all to become a 5-star chef. You can find unlocked recipes in the main menu under Extra, but be sure to save the game. To celebrate, here's your first recipe card. Roasted eggplant with sesame and pomegranate, meat-free. You unlocked your first recipe.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever want to talk, just come to the drawer. Chompets, let's move out. Cabbage rudely slams the drawer closed. You wonder if what you just saw was real. You're slightly worried about what this means for your mental state, but only slightly. Hey, did you find the supplies? You shake your head. Anatoly lied. He actually put them in the bedroom. Idiot. Here you go. You got the emergency supplies. Karen leaves you alone. Okay. Did she take some? You start a fire with some of the wood and get to work on cooking dinner. Tonight's entree, vegetable stew. A large saucepan over medium heat. You heat some water with potatoes, carrots, and celery. This sounds delicious. 15 minutes later, you drain the pan and set the vegetables aside. Placing some butter in the saucepan, you melt it over medium heat. Throwing some chopped onions in, you cook it about 10 minutes. The onions are tender and translucent. Perfect. You next mix in some flour, salt, pepper, and heavy cream into the saucepan, adding the vegetables to the mixture. Oh boy. Hours pass. We're back, more firewood than you'll ever need. We found some wild sorrel. Maybe tomorrow we'll have a bigger bounty. Anatoly's burying the lead. We saw a red deer. Oh. Mariah spotted it. Yeah, that's great. Anyways, killed 17 spiders today while you were out looking at a deer. Hey! Those fuckers will eat mosquitoes and shit. What are you doing? But yeah, that's a lot of spiders. That should come as no surprise. There's over 660 species of spiders here. Oh boy, she's not. Don't worry, Maria. Or is it Mariah or Maria? Mariah. I'm gonna call you M. Don't worry, M. Yeah, that could work. I'm sure they were all in the bathroom or something. No. Almost all of them were near the couch. Oof. I was going to sleep on the couch. That's where 16 of them were. I'm not sleeping on that couch then. There's only 2 beds in the bedroom. Don't sweat it, them. I can sleep anywhere, so I'll sleep in the rocking chair. I'll sleep with one eye open just in case any of them swarm the couch. Thanks, Gregor. Karen and Anatoly, you two take the bedroom. Thanks, big guy. Joke's on you, Gregor. I always planned on taking one of the beds. Hey, Anatoly, I snore louder than a lumberyard. Jesus. Sweet dreams, chump. You turn back to your bubbling vegetable stew and try a bite. This tastes pretty good. You cooked vegetable stew. Hell yeah. You set the table and ask everyone to dig in. I wonder if there's different versions. Oh, wow, look at this art. Oh. This is awesome. Oh, wow, this smells delicious. Thank you. You must be a world-class chef. Karen takes a bite. Is it not good? It's bland as hell. Karen tastes like every other vegetable stew I've ever had. So generic. Could probably use some meat next time. Gross. For a side dish, we could bake some bread and utilize What? Fragaria vesca? Also known as strawberries. For some jam. Nobody cares, Pipsqueak. Aw, everyone laughs at Karen's polite ribbing. Nothing makes you happier than cooking a great meal for friends. Who am I exactly, by the way? This could very well be the best day you've ever had. You go to bed stuffed. Oh, there's a day system. How terrible. I wonder how many different variations there will be for this. Hey, you up? How'd you sleep? I was so warm last night I didn't even need a blanket. Uh-oh. What time is it? About 1 hour until dawn. Will you two pipe down trying to sleep over here? She looks so bad. And then Anatoly's just tired. Gregor, the birds outside aren't making much noise yet. We didn't bring any supplies, remember? Better go get a head start on gathering food. I also can't see the trees outside right now. Gregor, did you see any spiders last night? There was a small one in the bathroom. Oh no. Actually, I did see a centipede by the sink. Oh no. Em turns a little pale. Karen's messing with you. Let's find more than wild sorrel today. Yeah, you kinda had that coming. If you're lucky, little guy, maybe I'll teach you how to catch some wild brown trout, huh? What's with you and meat, big guy? Anatoly's herbalism book stated that there's many more species of plant to eat out here. Let's leave the fish alone. Do you just not eat meat? You know I'm not, into meat. Oof. That's a shame. I'd wake up early to go fishing. Cheer up, Karen. We'll go to observe the trout at the very least. Maybe we'll see more red deer today. That sounds like a waste of time, Gregor. Oh. Maybe we'll find some black thornberries. I love black thornberries. Uh-huh. Karen doesn't seem pleased by this. Gregor just seems like Gregor. We'll be back later. Can you watch our stuff today? You nod. Thank you. Thanks. Karen's not happy. Don't steal anything, okay? You nod. Alright, Anatoly, Gregor, and Karen leave the cabin with a hop to their step. You're alone, but thankfully you have a drawer of chompettes to keep you company. Each day you'll be asked to explore a different part of the cabin. You only get one choice and the day will end. Choose wisely, oh dear. What do you want to check out today? Shit, I don't know. If I go to the basement too early, is it like, nah, man? Shit, I should have saved. Fuck. I'm just gonna hit the basement, because that's what I'd do. This door goes into the basement. There's no reason to go into the basement right now. You wait for the others to return. Oh, what? You fucker. Oh, fuck you, I'm gonna go replay all that. Yeah, that's right, I'm actually replaying it. I'm looking through the cupboards right now. You found a dead mouse. This would be a great gift to give Karen. You what? You put the dead mouse back in the cupboard. Karen's not ready for the dead mouse yet. You notice the L engraved on the side of the cupboard. What a fitting gravestone for the mouse. Right. Oh, okay. I guess. Well, that was something. Alright. Fuck, we're back here. Alright, since the basement is apparently fucking lame, we're gonna go to the bedroom. Yeah, that's interesting. Karen and Anatoly kept the room pretty clean. One of them made their bed, or only one of them made their bed. Who still makes their bed? Yeah. You look underneath one of them. You found some extra emergency supplies. Uh-oh. Was that Karen's? You decided to look through them and start planning your next meal. We're back. Knock it off, Em. It's pretty rare to be scared of one. It's not. What is he scared of? They're fucking laughing at him. Who knew the big guy would be so scared of snakes? Shut up. Oh, you don't understand. I don't think anyone understands, Gregor. It's just a marmot, Greg, not a monster. Raya laughs so hard that your ears ring. At least you're having fun. Oh my god. Tears are rolling down her cheeks. She's laughing so hard that she's about to hyperventilate. Stop hyperventilating? Is this a choice? Absolutely not. One less mouth to feed, right? Jesus, what the You don't get it. It's pretty personal. Then please explain, big guy. Barry looks incredibly uncomfortable. Aw. Let's leave him alone. We found some raspberries and elderberries near the cabin. Quite the selection of berries. We also found more wild sorrel. Is this going to be enough for a good meal? Everyone is looking at you for an answer. You decide to do an inventory of all the available ingredients. Takes you a while, but you decide on your specialty, cabbage rolls. First bring a pot of water to a boil. Let the cabbage leaves boil for 2 minutes, draining the pot into the sink. In a medium mixing bowl, you combine some cooked rice, onion, and egg, salt and pepper, along with some tomato sauce. Use your hands to mix thoroughly, and decide to wash your hands after. It won't come off. Okay then. Dividing the rice mixture evenly between the cabbage leaves, you then roll them up and tie a string around them so they stay in one piece. You place the cabbage rolls in a large skillet over medium heat, pouring the rest of the tomato mixture over the top. Covering it, you bring it to a boil. You reduce the heat to low and let the cabbage rolls simmer for about 40 minutes, being sure to baste it with the liquid. Well, there we go. You cook cabbage rolls. Em looks optimistic, Karen looks skeptical, Anatoly looks curious, Gregor looks thrilled. You watch intently as everyone takes the first bite. How is it, friends? That's pretty darn good. Wow, I could eat the whole batch myself. I think the vegetable stew tasted better, but I'm loving how tender the cabbage is. Sauce is pretty red. Did you use fresh tomatoes for it? It really adds to it. Spin some of the liquid on top, you'll thank me later. Incredible. It's definitely growing on me. Thanks again for cooking. This really was something special. So I have a question though. Did I use some of the rations? Cause like, what happens if we run out of food? You know, I got questions. This is a psychological horror game, god damn it. Everyone leaves the dishes behind for you to do. I mean, that's the least I can do, right? I cooked. What'd I do today? I cooked. I looked around the fucking house a bit. I thought of a meal. Not in this order, obviously. And then I did the dishes. Wow, it's like 4 to 5 fucking things. Calm down, me. Not happening. You settle in and go to bed. Everyone goes to bed full. Tomorrow will be another great day. I have many skepticisms here. I'm very skeptical. Good morning, everyone. Oh, yeah. Again, Gregor? Can't you let us sleep in? Not today. Why? Storm clouds are gathering outside. We need to find some food before it begins to downpour. Gregor, you're overreacting. We have enough food to last us a while. Enough food? I thought we used most of the supplies for last night's dinner. He's right. The meal you made was delicious, but it used a lot of what we had. Gregor's also correct. Participation is unusually high in the area, with many areas being high risk for flooding. It'd be foolish not to go out and get or look for food today. You really think it will flood? Thankfully, the cabin is on high ground, but that doesn't mean we're safe from floodwaters. It's always a possibility, so it can't hurt to be prepared. You're losing it, Gregor. Karen, there's nothing to worry about. Right. I think Gregor's right, Karen. Huh? It won't hurt to prepare for the worst. I think she's right, Karen. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Anatoly, let's go out and prepare for the storm. Foraging should be a key priority today. There are plenty of edible foods, and it has better odds than trying to hunt. That's fair. Give me a few minutes, and I'll plot out our route on some paper. Let me help, little guy. Anatoly and Gregor head to the bedroom to consult the map. Em and Karen are still hanging around. Tutorial: unfortunately, in life, you can't make everyone happy. When given a choice to speak to a character, choose wisely. You can only select one of them. Fucking whack. Well, that's terrible. Try to max out your bond with certain characters for unique dialogue and scenarios. Ooh. God, how many times am I have to play this fucking game? Hopefully a few. You're like, wow, he sounds upset by this. No, I'm pretty happy by this. Which one would you like to talk to? Well, considering I'm already talking to Karen, let's just go down the Karen route. Fuck it. Hey, this paper nailed to the wall looks pretty ancient. What were the old days like? Extremely brutal. Extremely brutal. Oh, really? You'll have to share the details with me later. Okay. Karen will not be able to stomach your stories, but you still agree to tell her the details later. Karen will definitely remember that. Your relationship is stronger. Back. You hear a shout from the other room. That'll happen. Gregor and Anatoly come back from their meeting. Gregor is blushing slightly. That'll happen. Hey, can you cook something while we're out? You nod. Thank you. Alright everyone, we have our route now. Let's beat those rain clouds. Okay then. The group leaves, determined as ever. You have the cabin all to yourself. Oh, there's the radio. What's that noise? Sounds like it's coming from the kitchen. Also, what are we talking about? The old days? What is going on? Huh? Radio. What's going on with that radio? You didn't even notice it on the ground or when you walked in. Did somebody leave this radio here? It looks newer than anything you've seen before. Seems to be broken. Better hold on to this. You got the strange radio. Before you cook dinner, what should you check out? Is the basement just like a ruse? Can I not choose this, by the way? Like, I'm gonna click it again. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the basement. There could be stuff down there. Your imagination runs wild staring at the basement door. You try opening and closing the deadbolt, just in case. You mill around until the others return. Now, fuck you. Excuse me? Alright, well, since the basement's a fucking lie, Bathroom? Because we haven't been there yet. I figure I should at least look at every area once. Well, this is quaint. I don't know about the black mold or whatever the fuck's on the wall, though. You remember an old tale about a child who said a killer's name 3 times into the mirror. Old. Is this post-apocalyptic or some shit? But you can't remember how it ended. You're too frightened to even try it. You leave the bathroom a little more scared than when you entered. Oh. No, I'll look at the other one. We're gonna inspect the kitchen. You have nothing better to do, so you decide to talk to the Chompettes. Hello. Good to see you again. Thought you abandoned us. Why are you trying to fool them? Go ahead and make those meals you enjoy so much. Raspberry. No thanks. That vegetable stew? Gross. You already stunk up the cabin last night. Spare us a repeat. Onion. It almost smelled as bad as you, Stinky. Almost. Aren't you going to give them the recipe, Onion? I guess. Hey, ever notice those 4 humans don't give you any recipes? Those monsters. That's why you should spend more time with us, right? Of course. I have the perfect recipe for you today. It will make the kitchen smell nice afterwards, and it will impress dinner guests. You received the borscht recipe. I think that's how you... 5-star chef. I got an achievable. Don't burn down the cabin making it, okay? You nod. Don't be a stranger. Chompettes, mosey out. You shut the drawer and wait for the others to return back. Alright. Em's back early today. Are you good? Hey, the others are still looking for food outside, and until they found some more berries, but nothing that will feed all of us. Please don't tell the others. But I'm a little worried about our supplies. I crunched the numbers, and we don't have enough food, even with the rationing, to last if there's a big storm and we get stuck here. Em seems disappointed in your inventory management. Can you try cooking a little less this evening? You nod. Thank you. You've done such a great job with meals so far. What are you? You're very sweet. Is Em blushing a little bit? Uh-huh. Em will remember that. Your relationship is stronger. Yay? Maybe you can teach me to cook sometime. You nod. Looking forward to it. Hey, you could hold cooking classes here someday. Rudely interrupting a tender moment, the others burst into the cabin. Welcome back. Don't be so down, everyone. We got tons of good berries. Jam is so bland without any sugar. Do you have any sugar? Shake your head sadly. Yikes. Turn that frown upside down, Karen. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? I'm not smiling for you, Gregor. You missed out. The sunset was really tremendous on our way back. Hues of orange, red, and even a little purple poking out. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in morning, sailors take warning. Okay. So we can expect a sailor's delight tomorrow. That's awesome. Such an optimist, big guy. You must have walked a few miles today. Gorgeous sights. You could even see snow on the tips of the mountains. That rumble sounded like a dying calf. You look from person to person trying to determine who it was. It was definitely M. I recognize that sound from anywhere. Oof. Guilty. She looks embarrassed, but the group laughs at her honesty. Except for you. You search your mind for something to say, but all you can think of is an old riddle. Hem. Those who have it do not want it. Those who have it least succeed. Those who have it for too long perish. When you feed it, it gets smaller. What am I? Dust? Try again, big guy. Everyone is pondering the answer. M's face lights up. I got it. Is it hunger? Correct. Yeah, I was gonna guess that. So, what's on the menu tonight, chef? Bread and jam. You crush the berries in your small mortar and pestle, spreading it on some crusty bread. I mean, it's something. You cooked raspberry jam and bread. Bare cupboards. The bread's a little tough. Gregor, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. What? But this homemade jam is to die for. Sorry. No, you're right, Gregor. This bread stinks. Everybody laughs. You're not sure this could be called a meal. But it got the job done. Everyone thanks you for dinner and heads off to sleep. That's a terrible day. Go to bed wishing you had more. You have a strange dream. Something is riding on your back. And it's becoming a nuisance. You try to see it in the mirror, but you can't get a good look at it. You try almost everything, but it won't get off. The pain between your shoulder blades is getting worse by the minute. You wander away from the cabin, stumbling by a river to soak your pain in cool water. You don't want things to come to this, but you've exhausted all other options. You swim out to the middle. Rocks on the bottom cut your feet. You slip and fall to your knees. You lean back, trying to submerge the thing underneath the waters, but it won't drown, it won't drown, it won't drown. You splash frantically, plunging your head beneath the water. Current takes you downstream. You try swimming to the shore, but it's no use. Water fills your mouth and nostrils. After a minute, you stop struggling against the current. As you gaze up at the sky, you feel it leaving your back, drifting into the sky as you sink to the bottom. As you take your last gasp, you see what was on your back, staring into your eyes. But you don't even have the air in your lungs to scream. You wake in a cold sweat. Whoa, what the fuck? Alright, okay. Getting a little spooky. Just a dream. Is that so? Wake up. Sorry, you're making strange noises in your sleep. What's going on, Gregor? Did the lightning wake you up? It woke me up. Tried to fall back asleep, but it's so loud. Let's just get back to sleep and talk about this in the morning. Everyone nods in agreement and gets back to bed. Oh dear. I'm getting bad vibes. Except for you. You can't fall back asleep. You still have goosebumps from that nightmare. Karen's snoring is louder than a sawmill. Find it very loud and very distracting. Don't sleep a wink. Everyone is now up and awake in the cabin. You hear the front door open and quickly slam shut until he sounds petrified. Yeah? I looked out the door and we're completely surrounded by floodwaters. Looks like sailors take warning was more appropriate for today. Maybe it'll clear up tomorrow? You can't steal big guy's optimism, Karen. Why the hell not? That's all he has going for him. Damn. He's also good at chopping wood, though. Knock it off, you two. M, do you think it'll clear up tomorrow? I give it a 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow. Okay. Based on what? I was bored stiff, so I read a book on local precipitation levels for the last 20 years in the living room. Jesus. Sounds like you're stealing Anatoly's thunder. Anatoly, you're a book nerd, right? Why didn't you read it? Uh-oh. Couldn't make it past the cover. Is that right? Yes. Uh-oh. That bookshelf has some great books on artisan crafts and natural sciences. Why let them sit there gathering dust? How'd you arrive at a 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow? It's easy. Take the time of the year, multiply it by a factor of... M begins to explain meteorology to you. She isn't dumbing any of this down. It's similar to... where... So the first thing you need to understand, minutes of explanation feel like hours. You look over Anatoly. He's listening intently. So intently he hasn't blinked yet. You can see his eyes drying up. A tear rolls down one of his cheeks. This is brutal to watch. Em finally wraps up her lecture. She ends with a bow. Nobody claps. Tough crowd. Em, that was awe-inspiring. You lost me a few minutes in, but it's okay. I didn't understand a word of it. Until he turns to you. Anyway, there's no telling how long this will last. We can't leave the cabin until these floodwaters stop. I know our food situation is a little tight, but I know you'll make the right decisions. I believe in you. Me too. You good, Em? Looks like we have enough leftover berries for more bread and raspberry jam. I'll pass on the jam, just give me more crusty bread. Everyone laughs, except for you. With everyone stranded in the cabin, you need to keep everyone fed and happy. You sneak out to the kitchen while everyone's still talking. Uh-oh. Eat out some crusty bread and get to work on making more jam. With the kitchen to yourself, you decide to check in on the chompettes.
Hello.
Hello. Don't worry, as leader of the chompettes, I'll make sure none of the humans know about us. That big guy would try eating me like an apple, so definitely don't tell him about us. Are your plans going awry? Shut up, bread. Got another cornbread classic for you. Did you hear about the bread maker's bakery burning down? No? Her business is now toast. God damn it, bread. That one's been done to death. Do you know how raspberries and milk were introduced? Or how raspberry and milk were introduced? You tell her no. Raspberry milkshake. God damn it. You let out an audible groan. Did cornbread teach you that one? Nope, wasted an entire day thinking about that terrible pun. It was well worth the time and effort, Raspberry. Maybe you'll win the annual Chompette comedy competition this year. Of course. Not while I'm here. I won't choke on stage this year. Isn't that every year, Bren? Right. We still talk about the closing line, Bread. Or that closing line. You're gonna do great this year. Anyways, don't even think about eating us if you're hungry. Chumpets stick together through thick and thin. Rain or shine. Feast and famine. Potato, I swear to God, repeat line or we're locking you up again. Life or death. That's right. Chumpets, move out. So am I just fucking mental? Or the Chumpets somehow managed to close the drawer on themselves? I have a lot of questions, actually. You bring the crusty bread and jam into the living room. Karen interrupts you as you bring the food. Took you long enough. Karen looks at the 2 slices of bread left in the mason jar of raspberry jam. There's mold on the last 2 slices of bread. Ugh. Karen is right. What the hell is the matter with you? You grip the knife tightly in your hand. You think this is enough for 5 of us? Wait, we can't throw this bread away. That's all we have left. Riker's right. Angeli, will mold spores give us food poisoning? I'm no scientist, sorry. Let's pick off as much mold as we can. We can't leave with the floodwaters, so this will have to last us another day. Everyone grimly nods, ripping apart their piece like a pack of wolves. Gregor seems to unhinge his jaw and eat it in one bite. He looks like a duck eating bread. Thanks again. Bread and jam isn't much of a meal, but it's more than we had when we left Ukraine. Okay. Plenty of rainwater outside, so at least we won't die of dehydration. But until this storm is over, nobody should leave the cabin. It should clear up if we just give it a chance. Anatoly, where are you getting that information from? One of the books on the bookshelf talk about the climate here. You're illiterate, so that's definitely a lie. Oof. I've seen him reading, little guy's been studying. I'm serious, he pretends to read those books because he wants us to think he's smart. But I can tell he's just staring at the pages, faking it. What do you think? I don't think he can read. You're funny. Be pretending with those books, Anatoly. Brutal, Karen. I found an old picture book in the living room. Let me know if you want it, small fry. Karen. Karen smiles at you. I guess let's call it a day. Yeah, sure. I don't know about that decision that I made, but you know. Everyone shuffles off to their sleeping areas. 6 minutes later. I'm glad you called out Anatoly's bluff. You continue to impress. The shame Anatoly is sleeping in the same bedroom. I should have never let him be the one to share with me. But what if it was just me and you? I'm sure we could study and squeeze a few novels in before bed. You nod. Well, we'll have to see if we can kick him out at some point, right? Oh, you'll have to tell me about that atomization book on the bookshelf. Really cool pictures in there. Karen looks like she has a crush on you. Let me know if you're ever free for a lesson. Okay? Huh. Karen walks away looking very happy. You're definitely sure Karen will remember that. More relationship with Karen? That's really all I'm going for here. For now at least. I mean, we'll see whatever the fuck happens next. Get ready for bed and put a blanket on. Go to sleep very hungry. I gotta find things, dude. Like, am I supposed to be finding shit? You don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up. Good morning. And that's how fast a deer could run if it's startled. Whoa, or if startled. Incredible. Impressive. I'm assuming I'm yawning. I wish we had deer here, or a deer here. With the food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal. No. It's only for one day. Various cultures and religions have practiced fasting throughout history. That doesn't make us feel any better, Anatoly. What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly. Anatoly leaves, mumbling to himself. So passive-aggressive of him. Everyone goes to a separate area. Karen is in the bedroom, Gregor in the living room, Em in the kitchen, and Anatoly in the bathroom. Who do you want to speak to? Fucking Karen, duh. Dude. Yay, it's this scene. Looks like she's just slicing away at a block of wood. Hey. Can I let you in on a secret? I've actually enjoyed your cooking so far. Aw. The others expect me to be rude and mean, so I have to keep that reputation up, right? Can't have anyone thinking I'm soft. You're not sure where this is coming from. Promise me you'll give me some cooking lessons soon. Okay? She's not ready yet, but you nod politely. Thank you. You're definitely sure Karen will remember that. Yay! The relationship is stronger. You leave Karen by herself. Okay, everyone looks pretty down this evening. Wish the rain would just stop. You're all doing great. We must be almost to the end of this nightmare. I'm so hungry. Aw, Gregor looks so sad. Me too. You are too. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. You go to bed with a growling stomach. You have a strange dream. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray. What the fuck? But he keeps shaking his head, calling you names, so you do it. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. You show him how it's done. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him sneering back at you. You wake in a cold sweat. What the fuck? Why? Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. The rain is still pouring outside. You can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear a stirring of blankets, arms, and legs. M looks petrified. You have a bad one too? I couldn't sleep. And Tully has bags under his eyes. The storm is too loud. Karen looks out of it. Are you okay? The cabin was creaking so much last night. It sounded alive. Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window. And couldn't see anything due to the rain. Great observation, Gregor. I was so hungry last night. I kept pacing around my bed. Karen turns to you. When is this going to end? I checked outside the door again. Floodwaters keep rising. Unfortunately, we're going to need to stay put unless one of us wants to drown in rainwater. As soon as the weather lets up, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies. How close is the nearest town? I don't know. Didn't you have a map on you? I think I dropped it while we were running after Gregor. I'm sure it'll show up eventually. Right. Em and Anatoly go white as a sheet. How are we going to find our way back now? We'll have to ride out the storm. Em looks at you. We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating. The group stares at you. It'll clear up in no time. Maybe you're right. The group looks worried. They all gravitate to an area. You tell Gregor's putting on fake optimism, and Emma's having trouble. Which one do you want to speak with today? Oh dear. Shit. I feel like Gregor kind of holds up the rest of the group. So I'm gonna talk to Gregor. Oh, hey. I know you already searched the kitchen, but I had to double check. A fool's errand. Or a fool's errand. I wish everyone was in better spirits. Can't rain forever, right? Rainfall in this area can last days to weeks. You tell Gregor to stay strong. You know what? Thank you. The group is really thankful for your kindness. Gregor blushes a little bit. I always wanted to be the one that kept everyone in good spirits, but it's obvious that you do that much better. Gregor is looking at you fondly. You're sure Gregor will remember that. Aw. Yay, Gregor! The rain is pounding hard against the wooden cabin, but at least none of it is getting inside. You tell Gregor to keep his spirits up and join the others. Oh. You call everyone together, they all look grim. You cut the tension in the room with a knife. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. You bring it out, everyone cannot take their eyes off it. You instruct everyone to take a pinch. Slowly all five of you tear it apart like a wishbone. Everyone studies their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it will last. Karen is the first to eat hers. She chews each bite a few hundred times before swallowing. Anatoly chews it cautiously, opening his mouth once he finishes each bite. Em nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. And Gregor just pops it in his mouth like a cherry. It was gone in an instant. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you've run out of options. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. Go to bed starving. Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't do the rations correctly. I big stupid. But, you know. Good morning. Morning. I'm gonna do a little savey save. Let me check if the rain has stopped. It doesn't sound like it stopped. It's still flooding. What are we going to do? Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end in a day or two, right? Actually, precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you really think it will rain that long? Anatoly, it's been days already. What makes you think it will stop soon? Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed, it's done by tomorrow. Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking scared, but you need to survive. Aaron and Gregor begin to discuss next options. Do you want to speak with Em in the kitchen? Or Anatoly in the living room? Think instead about how everything you've done wrong and how you've doomed everyone. Oof. Let's speak with Em. Hey. Em looks relieved to see you. Oh, was that it? How are you holding up? Better question, how are you holding up? Not very good. It's very sweet of you to ask. Em's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you. I noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. Usually, I have to pick it out of the foods the others make. But you respected that. Thank you. Em is looking at you with admiration. I need to speak with Gregor for a minute, but thanks again. You're definitely sure Em will remember that. Wow! We're doing well. You decide to check out the drawer again. You ask Potato where the others are. They'll be back. They wanted to explore the labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely you've seen the mouse holes, right? They connect all over the cabin. Must have been some mouse that created them or something worse. Anyways, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Things are going to get worse from here on out. You have a feeling Potato is telling the truth. You realize some drool is leaking out of your mouth. Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. You'd just deathly sick if you tried. Anyway, and from the look of you, you need to retain all the water you can. From rationing to cooking, you failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With floodwaters rising and no food now, I think it'd be a great time to go over the fundamentals of starvation with you. When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors that will determine if you live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. Oh dear. The Harris-Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current weight. The equation produces a number called the basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Stay with me here. 655 pounds. Alright, I wrote that down. I don't know if that's necessary, but I did it. Got it? For fun, let's try it on someone here. Using Harris-Benedict, she looks like she's 120 pounds, about 5 feet 5 inches tall, about 20 years old. Crunching the numbers, I think she'd need about 1388 calories daily, but that's being abnormally stationary. She'd have to lay in bed all day and all night just eating, breathing, and using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. She was being very active, let's say swimming through floodwaters. We need to multiply by 1.9. Damn. It's quite the difference, especially if you didn't ration food properly, which you didn't. I guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully, we'll never have to speak again, okay? Shut the drawer going over the numbers again. Well, that's great. Oh, I didn't mean to skip that, no. Gregor's voice starts to crack. I don't think any of us can take this much longer. Gregor's voice starts to crack. I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Everyone is silent. I'll go. I used to swim all the time near my house, so I probably have the best chances of swimming through floodwaters. I don't like that fucking Potato, like, predicted this. No, let me go instead. You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses, Anatoly. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? That's true, but... Little guy, let me go. Gregor, sounds good to me. Karen, his arms are definitely the longest, so he'd probably be the best at climbing trees out of all of us. No, that wouldn't be right. Gregor, let me go instead. I get that none of these options are good ones, but we need to find food or help. Gregor grabs a branch from the woodpile. He cuts it into different measurements. As we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand. And the shortest will go outside to search for food. Oh dear. You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths, so you can tell which is the biggest one of the bunch. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? Anatoly? Karen? Will it be... Looks like I've got the shortest. It's okay. I don't like this, dude. I watched Anatoly forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for. Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area. Maybe you'll find a fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Karen, Anatoly, and Gregor. I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches as Em leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is, and then silence. Em has left the cabin. I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun has completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You ready for bed and easily pass out. Dead to me, achievement unlocked. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is a guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. Your burns chill with the wind. The guests look behind her, and her eyes widen when she sees you. She's terrified. Your fury rips trees out by their roots, soil from the ground, rocks from their pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever. You're gaining on them. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. What the fuck? Day 7. Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground? I believe in Em. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Karen. How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Anatoly and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Karen. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back. What are we supposed to do? Or what are we supposed to eat? Mice? Karen, I'm sure Anatoly will agree, but We'll discuss next options when we get to it. Every waking thought is about food now. I never should have eaten that much. Karen's hands are involuntarily shaking. Gregor and Anatoly just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You're sure Em will make it back? She promised. Okay, well, we're gonna end this one off here. Because Raisins, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Hit the bell, do whatever the fuck you want. Have a great fucking day and all that other shit. But yeah, also let me know if you're interested in more. I'm gonna be doing it anyway, but you know. Peace out and all that shit.